do this in prime time. Under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. The fans in the stands keeping doubly bright high. The grid-eyed fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Kepleys, old spaghetti legs. Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E is a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.
The Edmonton Elks, they hold on to defeat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 25-20, and their playoff hopes remain alive with that victory. The Edmonton Elks now 2 points back of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, although the Bombers hold on to the tiebreaker, so for them, they get a little bit of a victory tonight. Lots to get to here on the Green and Gold post-game show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Thank you to everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams at edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio, Apple Music. Those watching on YouTube as well as those listening to this on podcast, wherever you get your podcast, thank you as well. I'm assuming there might be a lot of people on podcast listening to this tomorrow after the Oilers game, because now many people maybe are shifting to the Oilers game. But I really appreciate those that are either tuned in right now or tuned into this with the Oilers game on the sideline. We really appreciate it. Jay Milne, Iwanyk with you here tonight as we will recap the action here. Jay, well, your thoughts always welcome. Nasty Chat, 780-218-9999. That you can get your thoughts into the Nasty Chat. Justin Rankin carrying this team to victory yet again. But what did you think of the Elks late? Instead of pushing it for a touchdown and 2 points, instead punting. But Mr. Milne, your thoughts on this game?
Okay. We said, what did we say coming into this game? They needed to get the win.
Yes.
They did. If you ask me what I think about the end of the game, I think it's a direct correlation to this offense. I can't say the coaching staff, but the way that the offense seems to go about their business. Very conservative. Not aggressive enough. You forced a turnover on downs at the 50-yard line. And then what do? You weren't even watching the game because you were doing the GCLD's oil stream pregame show.
Well, I had it there as much as
what do you think they did on 1st and 10?
They ran the ball up the middle.
They ran the ball up the middle for no gains. In fact, it might have been a loss. I think it was a loss of 1 yard.
Let me get it for you. Yeah, loss of a yard. So minute 1 left in the game. Minute 1 left in the game.
That was a dream scenario.
And
you're down. You have a chance to go ahead and get a touchdown and go for 2 and do what the unthinkable is get the tie break for the season.
Well, but it would have been a tied at 13.
That's better than not. That's better than the position they're in.
The only question
I think it comes into points for and against, and you can worry about that for the next 2 games. But at least you didn't squander an opportunity to try and put the boots to them.
Is that what? Did they say that on the broadcast?
No, we looked at it on the Hangout. Okay. I think it's a third thing.
But that was if multiple teams were tied.
Yeah. I mean, if a head-to-head team is tied, I don't know how it couldn't go to points for and against. But anyways, they won the game. Okay. Yeah.
But it feels like a little bit of a loss?
It shouldn't, Matt. We should be sitting here saying, okay, they did what they did. There are so many things that frustrate me from this game, and one of them is this, I could say so many bad words. Trying to not say bad words. This replay center that comes in from the clouds to make decisions after the play.
Apparently.
Okay.
I think that's what we learned.
Sure. I wish we could bring up the play in question, and we all know what I'm talking about, was this bogus, unnecessary roughness call on Tyrell Ford. Brady Oliveira sneaks out of the backfield, catches a pass. You could see it coming. Tyrell Ford, who's undersized compared to Oliveira, goes and hits him down low. Because guess what? If Tyrell Ford goes and takes his head off, that's a bona fide penalty. So what does he do? He goes down low and cuts him out. He hits him in the thigh, above the knee. By rule, it says at or below the knees is unnecessary roughness. So how does a league expect anybody to take them seriously if you're going to come in from the clouds and not even call the play as it was? That is the stuff that people will turn off the TV for. When you have, this is an illegal hit, this is not an illegal hit. That is BS. If you're going to call it, at least review it and look at it and look where Tyrell Ford's head hits Oliveira right in the thigh pad. That is not at or below the knees. Wake up. This is football. This is football. We have pads on. And you're calling this at a crucial time in the game? Wake up. My God, what are we doing to this game? You can't hit him up high. You can't hit him near the head because it's going to cause injuries. You can't hit him low or on the thigh pad, which is why there's a thigh pad there. What are we doing? I lost my mind out there. You would have laughed out loud.
Well, I know what happened was because I was talking to Cass and I heard you losing your mind from here.
Like, what are we doing?
What I'm doing is adding you to rant of the year for the Esties for next year. I've just put that into the calendar right there.
Matt, this is the game of football. It's contact. What do you want Tyrell Ford to do? How do you want him to approach this situation? Right? And Brady Oliveira gets up and says, hit me here. No, dude, I'm a cornerback. You're heavier, bigger, stronger than me. You want to put it's called a business decision. And cornerbacks make them all the time.
And it was 25-13 at the tie in that football game. There's just a little over 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, but it would have been a punting situation if I'm not mistaken. If that call doesn't happen, it's a punt?
Yes.
Yeah. And so then the Edmonton Elks get the football back.
It was 2nd and 11.
Yeah, just going through the play. So that was 3 yards, so it would have been a turnover. Elks are up 25-13. They get the ball back with a chance with 10 minutes to go, with lots of time to get into field goal range, whatever it is, to not just win, but get the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
And instead, Winnipeg keeps the football.
They throw an interception.
They do throw an interception.
And I have to give credit where it's due. Because Killam you think I'm furious about that? Mark Killam was even more furious about that. And we'll get to what happened at the end of the game and his decisions later. But he came to his team and said, let's get it back. You know what? You're going to get this hand of God or whatever this replay center is, wherever they exist. I don't know. But he had the demeanor at that time to say, guys, let's get it back. They come back. They get an interception. Kenneth Logan, his 3rd interception of the year. But then,
I think I know where you're going with this.
Then it started to kind of snowball, and it could have really got bad for this team.
No, here's where I'm disappointed with the Elks tonight. Because I do view this as a little bit of a loss in a way. Well, I was looking, so it looks like tiebreaker. I think they would have lost the tiebreaker.
Okay.
I wonder if Mark Killam knew in that at 13 we lose the tiebreaker because it goes to most points scored in the game, in the series between the two teams. And Winnipeg scored 37 points in the first game, in the first meeting. So I think they knew that. But where I look at this game tonight and I look at the Edmonton Elks and I have to try to find the other one. But too many times offensively, they didn't capitalize. And where I go with that is the game started with Javon Leake returning the ball to the Edmonton 49. Nice return in a great spot.
Yep.
You're at midfield. 2-0. Elks defense goes on the field, forces a punt. It's a shanked punt. The Edmonton Elks get the football at the Winnipeg 40 to start their second drive. No first down. Now, Blanchard goes out there, misses a field goal. There's 5 points missed off the board, by the way, tonight.
Yep.
Based off your kicker, which I guess based on that one, you want to get to a little bit later. Once you calm down a little bit, because then you'll get back up there.
I don't know if I'll come off the CFL tonight.
But there's a second opportunity in a great spot. What was my key? One of my keys to the game tonight. Strong start.
Yep.
Right there offensively. 2 great opportunities. And how did both of those drives go? Would you like to know how both those drives went? Well, at least first down on both those drives.
Oh, I could imagine. Run it up the middle.
Run right up the middle.
Yeah, sure.
Run right up the middle. And then I got to see where it was, but there was another spot in the third quarter where it was the same thing. The Elks got the ball in a great position, and it was give the ball back. And then the interception. After all this happens with Brady Oliveira, they get the interception. They get the ball in great position. You know, you're in Winnipeg territory.
Yep.
2-0, and they punt. Just too many opportunities tonight for the Edmonton Elks to go out there and really take this game and dominate it and control it. And the game plan just wasn't there. The offense wasn't there to go get that done. Like, one of the things in the second half that really blew this up was the fact that they went for it on a third down early. We saw a third down grumble in both midfield, and Justin Rankin took it to the house because he just that spark. But
Well, it's a combination of that, and
I think
they're not expecting that.
which goes to, like,
That's how offenses work.
we saw Cody Fajardo touchdown tonight.
Yeah.
Where he ran to the outside.
On a bootleg, on a designed run play that he held it and took it in.
And you saw all the Bombers defenders move in towards where Rankin was going to be. He took advantage of it. We saw some there. But then there was a few other points where you even pointed out where Rankin still had the football, but you're like, well, all the Bombers are going that way. Play action, dude.
Yeah.
Play action.
It's a novel idea.
There. Because it just seems sometimes with this team, you mix those in a little bit more. And who knows what this offense could be. Like, I'll even go, like, one of the things you said on the kickoff show was you want to see some tricks. You want to see some, did you see enough?
No.
From the goodie bag?
No, there was, but you know what, Matt? I think the MO for this team was just to win. Okay? We had talked about, and possibly glorified a bit, the opportunity to go for the 14 points.
So you
because
think
win in advance is number one.
You think that, what do you mean by, like, their game plan tonight was just to win?
Yes.
Then do you want to know something that's disappointing?
Yeah, it is. I'll share that with you.
Because what was the issue a couple of weeks ago in Toronto and Hamilton that we had with this coaching staff?
Not aggressive enough. Too conservative. Man, look what's written on my page all over the place. Not aggressive enough. Not aggressive enough.
It's one of those. If the Edmonton Elks got the victory tonight, but had 14 points, margin of victory or better, and they have the season series, here's how it makes this better and easier for the Edmonton Elks. Is that, how does it fully work out? The Bombers are 2 points up on the Edmonton Elks.
Yes.
It just opens up things a little bit more where right now the Edmonton Elks now need the Bombers to lose both games if they want to make the playoffs. The Bombers have to lose to the Saskatchewan Roughriders next weekend. Mm-hmm. Well, then there's also Calgary in here too still. They need to lose to Toronto. And you have to go take care of business. And Montreal, well, unless Calgary loses to Toronto, then you'd be in a spot. But you need a lot of help. Whereas if you had the season series, you could allow one more win from Winnipeg. If they go out and beat Montreal in the last game of the season, let's say, and they lose to Saskatchewan next week, but you take care of business and beat the BC Lions and Calgary Stampeders, you're in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, it just opened a few more avenues to getting to the playoffs. And to me, if I'm Mark Killam and this coaching staff, I go into this game with the number one goal, winning. That has to be number one. But there has to be a moment in that game for me where I feel like if it's there, if it's possible to go and focus on the 14 points, I'm going and doing that. I'm going, okay, now that's what we need to go focus on. We need to go. And that was there tonight. At one point, they had it.
Matt, it was there more than 1 point. They were up 25 to 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At one point, they were in the range.
Yeah.
And at that point, your focus then should have shifted from just getting the victory to maintaining your 22 points. That 22-point margin should have immediately dropped to 9 points in your mind. We're up by 9. We're not up by 22 anymore. We're up by 9. How do we make sure we keep that?
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed if that's not the case and they didn't go for that.
Even with a minute left in the fourth quarter, they forced a turnover on downs. Like, Zach Collaros was off all night. Yeah. And I'll give the Elks defense credit. They were putting pressure on him. Right? They won the turnover battle, 3-0. I mean, that's good. There's a lot of positives I'm sorry my rant on the CFL derailing games from the clouds in absolute absurdity.
But change the rules.
No, call it by the rule book.
No, I'm saying change the rules. That's the thing that Stuart Johnson needs to fix.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's the number one thing.
Make the field 100 yards and put the goalpost at the end. Yeah, that's going to bring people. No, you know what would? Is actually calling rules by the rule book and not having this, the command center is coming and interjecting themselves into the game again, twice. And the second time, they got that face mask call right. That was not a face mask. Yes, it would have enhanced the Elks field position. But once again, they were in that position because they ran on first down after a turnover on downs with a minute left in striking distance to go and put up points. Now, maybe Mark Killam knew that the tie was not enough because that was what they were left with.
Yeah, I think
But there
so.
was opportunity throughout the game, and that offense came out and laid a giant egg in the second half, aside from the one moment of aggression that I've seen from this offense. Play calling, not the actual players. Play calling was on 3rd and 2, first drive of the second half. You can go back and look at what I put on my Twitter page as a halftime review. I said this offense needs to be more aggressive if they want to come out and win this game. Lo and behold, they go for it on 3rd and 2. Rankin busts it outside, does Rankin things, and ends up in the end zone. That was the last bit of aggression you saw from this offense. That defense played their asses off.
Yeah.
That defense played phenomenal.
They were outstanding.
And they have been improving and improving and improving. So hats off to the defense. Of the 8 drives in the second half, 7 of them ended up being punts. 8 drives in the second half, 7 punts. That is not good enough. You might as well hang it up right now, because if that's what you're going to be doing, if that's the offense you're going to be calling when you're trying to, preserve this lead, go for the jugular. Go for it. What do you have to lose? The odds are not on your side to make the playoffs anyways. Go for it. Show some gumption. Show some just lay it on the line. Why not? Good things do not come to people who don't take risks. Right?
And that's the thing that this team just hasn't done enough this season.
And
it is a little disappointing in that case.
Not consistent enough.
Yeah, it happened. It happens. We've seen it.
You need a bit of that gunslinger mentality.
The one good thing for the Elks tonight is that Cody Fajardo was off, but you still found a way to get a victory.
Yep.
That's something this team need. Good teams, you could find a way to win when one of your top players isn't playing well. Tonight was one of those games. I'm not expecting that Cody Fajardo is going to produce like that next week against BC. We don't see it that often, right?
You can't, because that team's got an offense that can answer.
That team will score some points. Well, back, you want to know something? No, I'm fascinated to see what this defense looks like next weekend.
Well, this will be a great litmus test.
Absolutely, because this defense against BC, the first 2 times they met, not good. Not good.
Yeah.
Wasn't good at all. I'm fascinated to see how they go up against and how they match up against Nathan Rourke and that BC Lions offense in this one. But you still find a way to get that victory, even when Cody was a little off. And that at the very least is one thing to be happy about. If you're the Edmonton Elks, it wasn't a perfect game, and you still got a victory against a good football team who themselves are now struggling. And we saw that team that just wasn't there. But a lot of credit to this Elks team, especially that defense, for what they did tonight.
Well, and looking at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, sorry, Matt Hyman in the chat, but that team does not impress me right now. And we talked about it, how they're a little bit Jekyll and Hyde-ish. The positive you can take away from Edmonton is that they've been slowly rising over the course of the season. They did not have a drop-off game tonight.
Nope.
But the thing that is the most important key here, and I think what gives this team the best chances to punch their ticket to a playoff, and yes, I'm starting to talk about that, is that the facets, we always use this word, 3 facets of a football game: offense, defense, special teams. All of them contributed tonight in big ways. I mean, that Cordell Jackson punt touchdown, bingo, bango, bongo, pinball style play where he picks it up and, hey, bounces happen.
Yeah.
Right? Vincent Blanchard, not good. Vincent Blanchard, if he makes one of those field goals, maybe this is a different ending to the game.
Well,
maybe this team is more aggressive at the end to actually have that, season series in reach.
I would say, again, I think 13 points based on my quick reading of the CFL tiebreaker rules would say that it wasn't enough. The Winnipeg still holds the tiebreaker after that. But you add 2 points to this. That chip shot that he missed at the end of the first half, which was just, that was an embarrassing kick. It's a 30. You took a time count to put it back a little bit. That's an embarrassing kick. You need to make a 32-yarder or whatever that worked out to be. You just can't hook it the way you did.
Well,
add 2 points.
Yeah.
And now that makes it a 7-point ball game, touchdown and an extra point. You don't even need a 2-point conversion at that.
No.
You need a touchdown and an extra point, and you have the tiebreaker. And I don't think we see the Edmonton Elks play that final minute that way that we saw tonight.
Yeah.
I honestly do. So he took 5 points off the board, and I'll be upset about all of them. A 43-yarder, you need to make those, and we've seen him make those. He has been very good this season most of the time.
Coming into this game, he was perfect in his last 4 games. He was 12 for 12, and just had an off night. It was a bad night to have an off night because I ultimately think that changed the way that they could. But, we can talk about the end of the game, but the end of the game starts at the start of the game and how you play the whole game in its entirety. I'd like this team to get way more aggressive, specifically offensively speaking. The defense...
Well, I don't want them to get more aggressive defensively. I'll just say that because whenever we do see them get aggressive, that's when the start of the year, that's when they had their problems. They're good. They're good right now.
Yeah, and is this something that... we've talked about this. We've said it numerous times. Mike Arcuri was on the Hangout a couple weeks ago. This process, right? Is this part of the process of this team finding out how... And Mark Killam, as a head coach now in the CFL, sees it as a head coach to say, okay, we need to be more aggressive at these times in the game or throughout or in certain situations. I just feel like offensively, this playbook is very... And here's the thing, Matt. If we didn't see flashes of it, if we didn't see flashes of this, where'd that play come from? What was that?
Yeah.
That was a wide receiver screen. Oh, wow. That was a misdirection where they pulled the tackles this way and they ran the ball that way.
Go back all the way to Ottawa. Trey Ford started Ottawa. That's when it started. You saw stuff.
Yes.
And then ever since, there have been moments here and there.
Yeah.
Not consistently, but here and there, you'd be like, oh, look at that one. Oh, look at that one. Like this week, we saw a wide receiver screen.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, wide receiver screen.
And there was another one in the second half.
And
it's exciting, later in the third quarter.
Why doesn't it happen more? And at this point of the season, it's not we're trying to learn this playbook. And look, that's going to be a huge thing I'll say this right now, right off the bat. There should be no change with the OC going into next season.
No.
That's Chris Morris, continuity, all that. But Jordan McSimic right now needs to be better next year. Mm-hmm. That's going to, if we're going to get to 2026 and this team wants to take that next step, which is, because of what the CFL is, the next step really is, okay, Grey Cup conversation. It's not just playoffs, it's Grey Cup conversation.
Yeah.
He needs to be better. He just outright needs to be significantly better with his play calling and not just constantly calling first down, run up the middle with Justin Rankin.
It's like this, Matt. It's like this. It's like if you have a really good lasagna recipe, but it's all up in your head. And you're like, okay, how much ricotta do I actually put in? How much of this spice do I put in? And then you keep changing it over. And then you find the right one. Where you're like, oh, this is the best lasagna I've ever made. He has all the ingredients right there. He just needs to find out the right way and the proper time to use them. Right?
It's like when you make pirohe, it's 7 scoops of flour, some oil, mix in some milk.
Yes.
And then you just mix it together and add a little bit of water after to
It's
get
a
the right
beautiful
consistency.
recipe. But he needs to find that out. And the problem I have is that he knows what it is. He knows what butters their bread, if we're keeping it up with food references. It is to get a little creative. It is with misdirection. It's finding, like that 3rd down and 2, they went for it, turned into a 64-yard rushing touchdown for Justin Rankin. That was cojones. That was sticking it on the line and saying, well, screw you. And you know what? You know what Winnipeg thought they were going to do? The same thing they always do. The search run up the middle, which anybody could read. You know what they did? They went off tackle. They surprised him in that one instance, which I will give Jordan Maximic credit for.
There's to me, football's it's like chess. You build till that moment that you take over. For anyone that has actually studied chess, there's actually strategies behind it, and you move your pieces to get them aligned, so then you can strike.
I wonder what other references we can do. We've brought in lasagna.
Yeah, we brought in food. We're now going into chess.
Chess.
But it can be done more. You don't do it for just 1 or 2 instances in a football game. Again, why couldn't we see an extra play action? Like here's a 101 left in the game. If your strategy is, you want to know something, we're just going to take this victory. Why not run a play action there? Throw one deep. Mm-hmm. Because what if you score a quick touchdown? Mm-hmm. Now maybe you could just get the ball back still and get a single to get the tiebreaker. Like, why not just take a deep shot?
Yeah.
And if that in that moment they were expecting you to run up the middle. Well, there's those moments where you could just add it a little bit more. I get that Jordan Maximic is trying to build up, and then he gets that 3rd and 2, and he could do it once in a while. But to do that, you have to keep doing it the other way over and over to surprise. But it's not just there for the one time in the game. It should be there for a few times. I do want to just quickly jump into the inbox. Mikey, you guys roll. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Thanksgiving, Mikey.
I only want some local coverage. EST provides it. Yes, we will have the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show for you to wrap up today's coverage coming up as soon as the Oiler game does end. That's in the first period right now for anyone that wants to know. 0-0. I did see, was there a goal called back for the Oilers in that game? Might be. Couple of other texts. Chris Dixon. Jay making his case for Rancher of the Year. He's not wrong, though. Where was the eye in the sky in the late hit on Fajardo's scramble and the missed face mask?
Or the late hit on Javon Leake late in the game where he got leveled on the Elks sideline. No eye in the sky there. Hey, it's all about personal safety. Screw off.
Big Dave, I've pumped the got a W for my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you to Big Dave. But I agree with Jay. They could have probably made bigger plays if they took some chances. Those 2 missed field goals are definitely a huge missed opportunity. Coach Mike, what has to happen for the Elks to make the playoffs? Okay, I want to go through that one quickly here.
Yeah, let's dive into it.
And I'm happy to keep it's still
Hey, we get another week now, Maddie.
You get another week.
We get another week.
And as long as playoffs are still there,
well, even if they aren't,
they're worth
here.
discussing. Well, they're worth discussing.
Yes,
the conversation of playoffs still has to be discussed until it's mathematically eliminated. And no matter what, the Edmonton Elks get to go into next weekend and play a game knowing that their playoff hopes are still alive, no matter what. And for us, like that means no matter what, all of our post-game and pre-game shows this year are going to be meaningful football games to a degree. So the Edmonton Elks currently sit at 14 points. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers at 16. The Calgary Stampeders are at 18. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers have the season series on the Edmonton Elks. So the Winnipeg Blue Bombers cannot win another game this season if the Elks are to catch Winnipeg, because there's 2 paths. The Elks could either
if they're to beat Winnipeg and go ahead of them in the standings.
To catch and pass them.
Right.
So there's 2 paths for the Elks. They could either catch and pass Calgary, or they could catch and pass Winnipeg. I don't know what happens if it's a 3-way tie. That I don't want to get to that level of crazy just yet. But if the Bombers...
Well, we saw it. It was points for and against.
I know, but I don't know if there's a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
Well, actually...
Oh, it was head-to-head.
Hold up a second. Let me get to this. Okay, I just want to break this down.
Sure, sorry.
The Edmonton Elks, they can't make the playoffs with 16 points. They have to have at least 17 or more. But we're going to take ties out of this conversation for a second because ties are rather unlikely. If they finish with 16, they're not making the playoffs because the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have the tiebreaker outright. So the Edmonton Elks have to beat the BC Lions next week, and they have to beat the Calgary Stampeders in the last game of the season. They will be at 18 points. To be ahead of Winnipeg, Winnipeg will then have to lose to both Saskatchewan and Montreal. Saskatchewan has clinched number 1 in the West. But I bet they would love to do damage to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
Well, here's the thing.
They're looking
Who do
for
you think Saskatchewan does not want to see in the playoffs?
They don't want to see the Bombers.
Exactly.
And they would love to probably get the season sweep of all 3 games against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Montreal Alouettes need to beat Ottawa this weekend and next weekend. Then Hamilton would have to lose to Ottawa. And then the game Montreal plays against Winnipeg will be meaningful for Montreal. If not, Montreal's going to rest people. But Winnipeg cannot win either of those 2 games. As for Calgary, they need to lose to Toronto next weekend. And then if the Edmonton Elks go beat the Calgary Stampeders on that last game of the season between as those 2 clubs meet, the Elks will have the season series and they will pass Calgary. So that's what needs to happen. Basically, you want Saskatchewan to beat Winnipeg next week and Edmonton to beat BC, Toronto to beat Calgary, Edmonton to beat Calgary, Montreal to beat Winnipeg. The Edmonton Elks will make the playoffs. Now,
Dusty texted and he said 3-way tie is record head-to-head.
Yeah, between all 3 clubs. So it's the highest winning percentage in all games against the clubs. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers lost all 3 games to the Calgary Stampeders. They split with the Elks. They are 1-4. The Calgary Stampeders would be 4-1. The Calgary Stampeders, because I'm saying the Elks beat the Stamps to get to this. So the Elks would have 1, 2, 3 victories and 2 losses. So it's a winning percentage. The Calgary Stampeders would have 4 wins and 2 losses. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers would have 1 win. The Bombers would be out.
Interesting.
So it doesn't matter about if I'm reading this correctly, because it's the highest winning percentage in all games played against all of the other tied clubs. That means while Winnipeg has the season series over the Elks directly, if it's a 3-way tie,
just their overall record against those teams,
it's between those 3 teams. And based on that, the Elks would be in theory then 3-2 because they would have lost once to Winnipeg, once to Calgary.
If they beat Calgary in the season finale.
If Winnipeg gets 1 win and gets to 18 points, if Calgary doesn't win another game and the Edmonton Elks win their next 2, all 3 clubs will be at 18 points. It's a 3-way tie. So the tiebreaker goes greater number of games played against all clubs of the league. That's everyone's equal. Then the second tiebreaker has the higher winning percentage in all games played against all of the other tied clubs. So that's between those 3. The Stamps swept the Bombers 3 times this year, beat the Elks once, and would have lost to the Elks twice. So they'd be 4-2. The Elks will have split with Winnipeg, so they'd be 1-1, but then would have beaten Calgary twice and lost to Calgary once, so they'd be 3-2. So both those clubs would be above 500 in those. Well, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers will have only won 1 of their 5 games in that meeting. If I'm reading this correctly, I'm following this correctly, a 3-way tie would lean the Edmonton Elks and the Calgary Stampeders would make the playoffs.
Well, go Argonauts.
Am I wrong with that one? I'm trying to see where I'm off on that. Because
Calgary next week hosts Toronto.
Yeah, it starts with you need Saskatchewan to beat Winnipeg. You would love that. You would love just because it keeps things nice and easy.
I think the Blue Bombers have. It would be way more plausible for the Blue Bombers to not win another game.
Montreal could be because they might not play anyone.
Montreal could be resting people. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, because if Hamilton beats Ottawa which would be the big 4, Montreal and Winnipeg, Hamilton wins the East. So it doesn't matter. Montreal could win the next 2. Montreal could win out, and as long as Hamilton beats Ottawa, Montreal finishes second.
Interesting.
So they will know what happens between Hamilton and Ottawa beforehand. That's why if Winnipeg, the 18 points, this tiebreaker actually is very important because Winnipeg beats Montreal, they're at 18 points if they lose to Saskatchewan next weekend. If Calgary loses to Toronto and then Edmonton beats BC and Calgary, Edmonton's at 18 points, Calgary's at 18 points. I've got to be doing something wrong. That doesn't seem right.
Dusty just texted again. He said, you're right. You're bang on, buddy.
Jeez. Would that be something? Maybe that's what Mark Killam knew.
Okay, so let's walk this back.
So yeah, we'll go back
needs to happen here?
So to Coach Mike, for the Elks to make the playoffs, they have to win out.
Let's
just start with that. Number 1.
Win out.
They have to win out.
Yeah, which we knew coming into this game.
Yes. They then either need the Bombers to lose out, because then they'll pass the Bombers. The Bombers to lose both games. Or if the Argos beat Calgary, which thus means Calgary loses out, Winnipeg only needs to lose one game. Winnipeg, actually, in that scenario, Winnipeg could afford one win and be knocked out.
Yes.
Like, think about that. This is a weird part for it. If Calgary beats Toronto next week, all Winnipeg needs is one win and they're in the playoffs. If Toronto beats Calgary next week, one win does not guarantee Winnipeg a playoff spot.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is
why we play this. This is why you go to the end of the season.
This is and let's just roll this back a bit. I mean, we have 2 weeks left in the CFL regular season. Yeah. And we're still talking about an Elks team that is live. Very much so live. Now, they've got a tall task ahead of them. They've got to go into BC and win there next Friday night.
Easy.
That's not
8:30
easy.
start. There's always weirdness that happens in BC on those late games. Always been weirdness.
Very much so. Yeah. Then they've got to host Calgary and beat them. And some other things need to happen.
Well, so one thing, tonight was a playoff game for the Edmonton Elks.
Yep.
Said that in the kickoff. They're getting another one next weekend.
Yeah.
They're getting another game that, again, if it all means nothing, that they don't make the playoffs, it actually doesn't mean nothing, because it's nice experience for this club and this organization going into next year.
Well, they're 2-0 in the playoffs for them thus far, because they beat Saskatchewan 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
They beat Winnipeg tonight.
And the thing that gives me pause for happiness and caution is the fact that when this team finally makes the playoffs again, because I'll say this right now, I'll make a declaration right now. I know don't do predictions. The Edmonton Elks are making the playoffs this year or next year. Like it's not, they're not missing next year.
They're on the cusp.
This is a scary team, I think, if they ever get to a playoffs.
Well, what do they say wins championships, Matthew?
Defense.
Yeah, and
starts
that's
there.
Looking pretty darn good right now.
Well, think about how bad their defense was to start this season. Their defense to start this season was given up on average, I think it was like 34 points per game through the first 6 games, I believe it was, which would have been 8 weeks in the Canadian Football League. The Edmonton Elks right now have only given up 433, well, I shouldn't say only, but 433 points in their 16 games. BC has given up more now.
Yeah.
The Calgary Stampeders have only given up 40 points less. And at one point, the Calgary Stampeders defense was under 20 points per game allowed per game. They are only 35 points away from Winnipeg. Hamilton, who is the best team in the East at this moment by record, has given up 481 points. Toronto, 539. Ottawa, exact same number, 433. That defense, with how atrocious it was to start this season, the amount of points that they have given up has shrunk significantly. By the way, Robbie Smith, no statistical number tonight. He was in on that tackle, but they don't give half tackles well, that's half sacks. Do they do half tackles in the NFL? It's just tackles. So he came in second on a tackle there. He doesn't have a statistical stat tonight in this game. What did you make of Robbie Smith?
I noticed him. I noticed that whole D line. We referred to it earlier, but Zach Collaros was very unsettled in the pocket. And I mean, that showed. He ended up throwing 2 interceptions. They had a turnover. Like, they won. They didn't win the turnover battle. They dominated the turnover battle. And when you have a team that is doing that, it makes really competent quarterbacks look quite silly in those instances. Zach his delivery of the ball on anything over 20 yards was shoddy. I mean, you want to talk about a crazy play, that Ontario Wilson catch. Did you see that?
Yeah. Weird.
That might be catch of the year. Like, that was, and
flukiness on there too. Like, it's just good things happen to make those.
A lot of things had to happen.
Yeah.
Like, Tyrell Ford lost the ball. And I'm not saying this is in a critical way. It just happens in that instance. I mean, these are bang, bang plays.
It seems very Edmonton-like, though.
Yeah, it was setting the table for a very Edmonton finish. Yes, it was. And I think at that point, that was closely after the hand of God call on what was not a low hit, but they declared it as a low hit, which derailed my viewing enjoyment. You know, for a few minutes, anyways.
Also, I wasn't there with you. I know it was over here.
Maybe I'm happy you were because I said some words.
Here's a question I was pondering.
Ponder away.
Is Justin Rankin the best offensive player this Elks team has seen in a number of years? Like, who was the last offensive player that was as good as him, as explosive as him, as game-changing as him?
Well, you'd have to go to the quarterback position, I believe.
So Michael Riley?
Yeah, I would say that.
But was he as explosive?
No, he was just good.
I know. Like,
I mean, Justin Rankin can flip the field on one play.
That's the thing. Like, the amount of times this season we've seen him get that similar play. He gets to the outside. There's defenders there, but he turns it on, breaks the tackles, and is gone.
You know, it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking this during the game is that what have I ragged on so much this year is that option run that zone run where they just hand it to Justin Rankin 5 yards in the backfield and he tries to wade his way through the offensive line. It doesn't seem like they're able to get that push up the center, right? Center, 2 guards. It doesn't seem to work. When you get Justin Rankin off tackle, or at least appear to be going off tackle, and give him the opportunity to bounce it out, or cut and bounce in, put a guy in a 50-50 situation as a defender. Justin Rankin wins that battle every time.
Yes.
So, as an offense, maybe they need to, and did you notice how many 7 offensive lineman sets they had tonight?
There was a lot. Their entire offensive line was out there. Like every backups. They were all out there, all 7 of them.
That's not good. I mean, Winnipeg, we saw Brady Oliveira have a run that they got 6-7 yards right up the gut. And that's what Winnipeg can do. That's what a sound running attack should look like. Give the guy a ball, have your big men move other big men out of the way, and you run the ball. Edmonton can't do that. They need to be creative. So as much as maybe we suggest that the play calling is not aggressive enough, Jordan Maksimic might be limited in what he can actually call.
What's wild, and I don't know if I could find this easier. Justin Rankin this season, like, he's a great running back. We know his abilities at the running back. He's got, going into tonight, he had 11-20 plus carries. He had 25-10 plus carries. But his yards after a catch as a receiver, which is just huge. It's 506. I remember at the start of this season, like the first few games, there was a stat that came out of just his yards gained after first contact. It's incredible.
Well, and he's leading the CFL in it right now, right?
I don't know where to find that stat after first contact. But he's not the big enough guy that you would expect that from. Like, Brady's a bigger body. I could understand why it'd be hard to bring down Brady. You look at a Justin Rankin on the field and you'd be like, that guy should be easy to take down for some of those guys. And it's not.
No.
He's just so elusive. It's like he plays with grease all over his body.
Well, I mean, he's not the biggest guy on the field, but he's just elusive. I mean, what's his measurables for Justin Rankin?
He's 5'10", 215.
5'10", 215.
I'm 5'11".
Yeah, so he's just a meatball in there that can run extremely fast.
Cody's 215.
You know what I mean? Like he can juke and jive and move very fast. Yeah, Justin Rankin's a gift. And they need to find ways to use him in their recipe a little bit better.
Yeah, but then this is why I do want, it makes me feel even more I want that number 1 receiver for this team. Because I feel like it'll open up Justin Rankin a little bit.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yes, you're right.
It's just like, or even if there's that game he's being contained, well, then this receiver's going to go off. But then that's going to open up Justin Rankin again. You get the ball back to Justin Rankin. Because the Edmonton Elks, with the way he's playing, the Edmonton Elks are winning a Grey Cup with Justin Rankin. He's leading this team to a Grey Cup. They surround him with the right people. The Justin Rankin is leading this team to a Grey Cup. That's how highly I think of Justin Rankin right now.
How much does it mean to you that the Elks won a game? They didn't. I wouldn't say they dominated this game, but they won it. They won it.
Yeah, I don't think there was a moment I didn't think that they were going to win almost.
Right. So you know that feeling, right? Yeah. It wasn't a 48-20 blowout, but this was a game they won. How do you feel about them winning with Cody Fajardo going 13 of 24 at 54%, well below his season average?
I think that's huge. I think that's.
I agree.
It's one of those quarterbacks are going to have off nights. We could go find a lot of quarterbacks who have off nights, even the best. You want to go Nathan Rourke? I'll go find an off night in the stats for him. Zach Collaros over the years. Michael Riley. I'll point to off nights. The question is, are you going to go win those off nights? And good teams will find a way to still win. Bad teams, well, star quarterback's not there. We're done. We have got nothing because there's nothing else to get them through it. The Edmonton Elks found a way to win. That to me says that maybe they're not fully there to being a great team. They're at the very least a good team. Milwaukee Brewers off to the NLCS, by the way. Cubs, they fall, unfortunately.
That was an interesting graphic. They put LCS, not NLCS.
That's the League Championship Series. You know what league they're in.
But why would they not include the league?
Because you know what league they're in.
What if I didn't?
Well, not a baseball fan then.
How many? Well, are they, trying to grow the game or not?
I actually know that LCS gets used a lot. That does.
I've never seen it like that, but I'll take your word for it.
I've heard the LCS.
Brady Oliveira.
But they don't want you then. They're just snug. They're stuck up. Jay, we don't want you.
Oliveira Pastas has done a major disservice to Brady Oliveira's name.
He what?
You know the pasta, the prepackaged pasta you can get in like it's not the freezer aisle, but it's like the deli cold
that's
aisle.
What that's called. I didn't know that was what it was called.
That's all I can do. My mom, when she used to do samples.
What do you mean that's all you can do?
When I'm trying to say Oliveira.
Oh, that's all you can say.
Oliveira, because I grew up, my mom used to do samples and we had 5-gallon jugs of the Alfredo sauce from Oliveira. We had pasta bags everywhere, so I'm used to seeing this. So every time I say Oliveira, it catches me. Brady Oliveira went 12 carries, 117 yards, 9.8 yards per carry. Pretty big night for him. But Justin Rankin, 18 of 138 with a big play. Ding, ding, ding. That's the difference with this guy is he can break those 64-yard runs for a touchdown. And I don't think, when you're looking at that, yeah, sure, you can have a guy that can ground and pound. But to this offense, Justin Rankin has proven to be more useful in that long game. Like when he came out of that run, he had to beat 2 defenders.
There was overall on that play, I want to say 4 defenders.
Right.
Overall.
But down the stretch when it was speed time, and he was going 34 kilometers an hour.
The thing, too, is you also knew, because that ball, where were they officially? When he
midfield, I think. It was 3rd and 2. It was the first drive.
It was a 64-yard run. They were at the Edmonton 46. You're right before midfield. It was early in that run. You knew who was gone.
You said it. As soon as he turned the corner, it was going straight, and there was still two guys he had to beat.
Because we've seen it enough from him to go. They'll touch him. They're not tackling him.
Yeah, that's a
and
good
he'll
point.
get gone, and he'll go and he'll get a touchdown. We've seen it, and that's why that was the moment to me. I felt like this is one of the best offensive players I've seen with the Elks, and maybe it is Michael Riley, but he seems clutch. He seems automatic, and he just always finds a way to get a spark for this team. And a couple comments in the nasty chat right now. I like the 55-yard line. Comments. Rankin breaking runs over the 55-yard line is what kids want to see, but also over the 55-yard line, not the 50-yard line. League should try marketing him instead of changing the rules, says Steven. Rip City Step. Rankin is a star player. Even my friends who aren't CFL folks have been talking about him, and we said it on the kickoff show today. He's the new face of this team. Like usually it's your quarterback, and I don't want to take anything away from Cody. But with what Rankin does, Cody's number 2. what Rankin does, and again, you add the personality that he has. There's a star, not just of Edmonton, but of the league here.
Jason the Acadian says it might go as far back as Pringle.
And he was only here 1 year, 2 years maybe. In terms of running backs, the last running back that I will say was like this was John Avery.
John Avery. I was just
John Avery was
say.
the last one.
Yeah.
His east-west movements and could break it upfield after that. Justin Rankin is, from a running back perspective, is the best offensive player the Elks have had a running back spot since John Avery in my mind.
But I would go as far to say as Justin Rankin has much more steam power than John Avery did. John Avery would laterally, the juke button, yes, all over it. Justin Rankin might run you over.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He has a little bit of the power back in him with the speed back, and John Avery was a speed back.
Yeah, they referred to them as Thunder and Lightning at the start of the year. That's Justin Rankin and Javon Leake. Now, Javon Leake has proven to be very valuable in the return game. I mean, the field position he is able to offer this team is fantastic.
I just wish he was
in the backfield.
Used a little more.
I don't know if they're like you cannot use him on that zone read run play. I'm sorry, he just doesn't have the weight to carry himself through the hole. Get him outside. The guy has world-class speed.
But I think where you're going, Thunder and Lightning was the two of them.
The two of them, and Justin Rankin is no. He
might be Thunder and Lightning by himself.
He's all of it. Yeah, he deserves all of that for sure.
Are you concerned about Blanchard, or is this just young guy first year? You got to grow with it.
Yeah, I'm glad it happened on a night where they could afford it. I mean, aside from the 14 points.
If they lost tonight and we said there was 5 points left on the board, that would have been a tough one.
That would have been a tough look. I mean, this team is just, But here, you said it in the pregame, Matty. This was a test. Another test. Pressure. Mm-hmm. They passed it.
Yeah.
Not with flying colors, but at this point of the game,
B- or C+ is still
and
a
move
pass.
on. Win and move on. There's no more of these point differential games. Would have you liked to have seen a victory by 15 to 20 to 40 points? Yeah, of course. Anybody would say yes.
But it might not matter.
Win and move on. It may
the
not
Argos
matter.
win next weekend.
Wow, that's hopes. That's dreaming, I think. But
okay, so the BC Lions last week beat the Calgary Stampeders 38-24. Week prior to that, they beat the Toronto Argonauts 27-23. Week before that, they beat Calgary 52-23. Before that, Ottawa 38-37. Before that, they lose to Ottawa 34-33. That's the start of September until now. The last two times these teams met, they met on the first week of the season. The Lions had a strong second half where the Elks couldn't stop Nathan Rourke. And the Elks couldn't get anything offensively going in the second half. They lost 31-14. And then in July, an ugly game. This is actually a flattering scoreline for the Elks, in my opinion, from that game. It was 32-14. The defense couldn't do anything. Trey Ford with just a horrendous football game as well. Since then, though, the offense has been much better. A better quarterback at play, much better running back. Justin Rankin, the usage of him has been significantly better since then. And the defense has just turned it up for week after week after week. How do you think they match up against the BC Lions next Friday?
Well, defensively, they're going to have the game of the year. Nathan Rourke and that offense are buzzing. They are. Unless they have an off night. But here's the thing, Maddie. I have no reason to doubt this team, or especially this defense at this stage of the season. I don't. I want to see what they can do against BC. I want to see what they can do against what many of those that follow, I'm sure Dusty would agree, the most, I guess, the highest potential offense in the CFL right now. Because Nathan Rourke has got that offense buzzing. I want to see what they can do. Can you imagine if they hold Nathan Rourke and that offense to 20 points? I mean, that's a massive victory. And maybe with this new philosophy of rolling guys through, getting fresh bodies, fresh legs onto that defensive line, maybe that's kind of the key for them. Maybe that's what makes this defense tick. Mogensen, another noticeable game. I mean, look at what the defensive secondary is doing. Like there's no longer that Tyrell Ford is the standalone best defensive back on this team.
They got JJ Ross, Cordell Jackson's playing great.
Right?
Joel DeBlanco looked pretty good tonight too.
Jalen Garnes, I mean, that pass late in the game over the middle to Brady Oliveira, that Jalen Garnes jumped and deflected by index finger, that changed the course of this season for the team. If Brady Oliveira catches that, he's gone for a touchdown. I mean, these guys are making plays. So I'm excited to see what they can now do looking the way they do now, because BC hasn't seen them in a while. And guess what? That defense is different.
And what the offense can do is different.
And I'm not afraid to say it. Cody Fajardo had an off night.
Yeah.
Does Cody Fajardo have two off games in a row?
No, he had one other off night a little bit.
What was his response? I want to know that.
Was that the Labor Day game? I think Labor Day he was a little off.
Yeah, sure. I agree.
And then he responded with a big win against the Stamps the following Saturday.
And probably pretty good numbers.
He was 21 of 33 on Labor Day for 255. He still had 255 yards, but 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Yeah. The next week, he only had 153 receiving yards or passing yards, but he was 16 of 21. So he had 5 incompletions with the touchdown. Yeah. But Justin Rankin also, but he was much better in what we know of Cody, which is completing the football. Tonight, he wasn't good. He wasn't completing the football, and he only had 142 yards, which is his worst production since being a starter with this team. I do expect it to be significant. But the other thing with Cody too, and with Cody, with Justin, with this offense, and I've said this before, no matter what, they've won since that BC game when they got dominated here. They've won some football games. So I'm taking that out of here. They've lost 5 since then. The losses, 3 points, 4 points, 21 points on Labor Day, 1 point and 2 points. 1 is an outlier. 21 is an outlier.
Yeah.
This team keeps games close. They are in it until the very end. There isn't going to be an Elks game that we're going to watch, I think, next week. That, I remember that BC game. At halftime, we were ready for the post-game show.
Yeah.
Like it was, can we just hurry this up? Because we know it's going to be a bad one.
Yeah.
We're not having that next week, and based on how this Elks team is. It would be so out of character for what they have done this season since that BC loss. And that's a large sample size.
Losses of 3 points, 4 points, 21 points, 1.2 points.
Yeah. What's wild is that 1 and 2 points.
Here's the next.
That one hurts.
Here's what I think this team needs to prove now. That they can turn those 3 point, 4 point, 1.2 point losses into wins.
Just I saw a stat. I have the numbers wrong. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but the Chiefs last year in like 1-score games were undefeated or something. And this year they've lost like 3 of them or something.
That's a big difference.
The fine margin that there is, that you have. And the Elks, they're blowing it right now.
But if they can turn that around.
Well, imagine if one of these. Let's take one of those Ontario games out. The Toronto and Hamilton. The Edmonton Elks right now would be sitting tied with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers at 16 points, and they'd be 2 points back of Calgary.
Yep.
They would own that. They would actually, in that scenario, the Edmonton Elks would control their own destiny, because if they were 2 points back of Calgary at this moment going into the final 2 weeks of the season, Calgary could win against Toronto. But if Edmonton beat BC and then they beat Calgary, they would pass Calgary. Just one game changed the fact that the Edmonton Elks don't control their destiny going into the final 2 games in the season. But at the very least, they make games close. And I thought the Edmonton Elks, here's a stat from before today's game. So I'll try to update it on the fly. The Edmonton Elks have played a lot of games that have gone down to the wire, including their last one against Saskatchewan. This season, 9 of their 15 games have been decided in the last 3 minutes. They're 5-4 in those to the date. So now they are, tonight didn't come down to I don't know. Does this one count the last 3 minutes? I don't know. We'll have to see next weekend. But with Cody, with Justin, with this defense, they're in it. They're in every game. And if you had to put a line on this one going into next week, what would you put it at right now? Ooh. I don't have a guess for it. I know some weeks I have a magic guess kind of looking at something. It's not up. So if you had to put a line on this one.
Well,
so now let's and quickly.
BC's going to get 3.5 points or 3 points.
BC, Calgary, both at 18 points. So BC is still playing for a West semi hosting.
Oh, this is a big game for them.
Yes. They've clinched a playoff spot, but they haven't clinched home. They could, in theory, drop to crossover still.
Well, they're going to start out as 3-point favorites because they're at home.
I wrote down what I think.
Now, Edmonton has been playing teams tight.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be -5.5 BC.
Oh, I went 4.5.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we're in the same vein.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see on Monday what the lines come out as.
The BC Lions deserve to be favorites.
Oh, absolutely.
But, hey, the Elks, they know how to cover, though.
Sure do.
I hope this line opens up at like 7.5, 8.5 or something.
Jump all over it.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
hoping
they're
they mess
playing
that
teams
one up.
close.
That's it.
It's not even a...
And that's why if you asked me a month ago, what I would have put this one as a
7.5.
loss. Well, I would have just put this knowing this is a loss.
Right.
I don't know if they would have had enough in my mind to change my feelings about what BC's done to them this season.
Okay.
But now that I've seen this, I know. I like.
So you agree that this team is capable of beating any team in the CFL if they're playing team football? Like if they're putting together a half-ass, if they're putting together a half-assed effort.
I'm not putting a disclaimer on it.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm going to keep it just straight up. I believe this team can win any game either of their 2 games the rest of the season. No problem about it. Because, like, there's nothing that says that they can't. Are they the underdogs going into them? Absolutely. But do they have that scrappiness in them to go get it done? 100% they do. And sometimes it's those teams that are desperate, a little more desperate, that are the scarier teams. So you want to know something? I actually...
They're
I
just
was actually
capable
still
of beating every
feeling
team.
good about this team making the playoffs going into today, like for relatively. I'm feeling even better tonight.
And Induced Comics does make a note. My mother texted me. We'll have to change the YouTube title for the show.
Sorry, I was doing it as quickly as I could.
Maddie's, hey, round of clicks for Maddie. Maddie sat through. We did the Green and Gold kickoff show. I thought I was early today. I showed up like 2:45. You were already in here like buzzing. You were doing all the things. So round of clicks to Maddie, because then he sat in and did the oils, GCL Diesel Oil Stream post or pregame show.
It was great working with Benny.
0-0 right now.
After one. Yeah, it was great working with Benny. Great having a chat with Cass. Tommy, we'll be back with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show once that game ends. As you said, it is 0-0 down at Rogers Place. The second period, I believe, is underway. No, it's still end of first. Calvin Pickard start in net for the Edmonton Oilers. Oh, you have the game right there?
Yeah.
Calvin Pickard, I had the baseball game over here. Calvin Pickard did start in net for the Edmonton Oilers. Just quickly on an Oiler perspective, he was the quote-unquote scheduled start from Chris Knobloch.
Yeah, in the second game of the year.
Well, but come on. If he wins, who plays on Tuesday against New York?
Pickard.
But then it's not a scheduled starting, or did you only schedule 2 games?
Well, that's what you can't do when you
it's gonna be
when you have loose
fascinating.
lips, man.
It's gonna be fascinating.
Then you got to back it up. So is that? Well, no. Even if he wins, then I guess I don't know. We'll see.
I will say this. And there was a question I saw earlier. I forgot to get to it. When was the last time the Elks beat Winnipeg at home? I think it was also the last time they beat Winnipeg, but it was at home back in 2018. Last game of the season, 2018. The Edmonton Elks snap a 13-game losing streak
That
to the
alone is
Winnipeg
pretty
Blue
good.
Bombers. That's huge. You know, that's a great thing for next season.
Yeah.
If they have to go take on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers,
They're
knowing
beatable.
that you know how to beat them. This group knows how to beat them.
Yep.
They're feeling really good. The Edmonton Elks next up, BC Lions next Friday. Late game, 8:30. As before that, 6 o'clock. It'll be Winnipeg home to Saskatchewan. We'll have all eyes on that one very closely on the Friday. And then that means 7:30. Not GCL Diesel. The Green and Gold kickoff show. Myself, Jay Milne, will be live right here on Edmonton Sports, not getting upset for another pivotal game between the Edmonton Elks, or for the Edmonton Elks as they'll take on the BC Lions. Your final thoughts for today's game?
My final thoughts is that it was a win. I don't like the hand of God from the CFL Replay Center. And Maddie, I know your dad's been in the chat. Happy Thanksgiving, Roman. Happy Thanksgiving, Maddie. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families. I hope you kiss your mums, hug your dads, kiss your babies, kiss your wives, have fun, enjoy family, enjoy life, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
I got some bread to bake tomorrow. I'm bringing bread.
Yes, you do.
It was proofing in my oven today, and it overgrew. I tried doing something different. It was
Is that
huge.
a bad thing, though?
Well, I was doing it in muffin tins. I was trying to make individual biscuits, and then I have a little loaf.
You said that.
It was turning into muffins.
Okay, well,
So I had to cut some off and threw it into the loaf to get more of the loaf.
I don't
So
think too much homemade bread is a bad thing.
No, but I didn't want them to turn into muffins. I want them to be more biscuits. So we'll have to go see how that looks.
Yeah. So happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, Jay, to your family. Hope you guys have a wonderful one. To my dad, thanks for tuning in, and to all the EST tiers out there. I enjoy the way. I love Thanksgiving. I don't know. There's something about Thanksgiving. I love this holiday.
It's a sentimental holiday.
Yeah,
it feels like because you're Thanksgiving.
Do you know what else? It's not commercialized.
True. Good point.
It's not commercial. Like, okay, sure. Maybe the
know.
turkey industry has it locked down.
Turkeys.
The turkey industry's got it locked down. But beyond that, like, there's not cars. There's not all that. It's just a nice time to get it with friends, family, whatever. Have a wonderful meal. Enjoy some sports. There's always great sports. I love it. The only thing that we need to do is add the Friday on it.
Oh, yeah.
Friday, the day off on Friday, just make things just a little bit easier.
So EST in general, though, we're not broadcasting on Monday. We'll be back Tuesday morning with the Nielsen Show, 9:04, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk as well.
6:04.
6:04.
9:04.
6:04 to
we will
9.
be getting set for the EST Hangout as myself and Tom Gazzola will be on at 9:05 with the EST Hangout presented by Sentinel Storage. Evan Dom on the Hangout. He texted me during the show tonight to confirm it. Dahmer is going to be on the Hangouts on Friday. Monday we are off, so we will have replays of Friday shows airing on the station on Friday, as well as the Pipeline Show at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow we got a bunch of replays as well, but we do have the GCL Diesel Oilstream postgame show coming up later tonight still, once the Oiler game ends with the Vancouver Canucks, as Tom Gazzola, Benny Thompson, and Matt Cassian will recap the action between the Oilers and the Canucks. The Edmonton Elks, I did fix the YouTube thing, you'll notice. Edmonton Elks, they defeat the Winnipeg Blue Bombers 25-20. They improve to 7-9 on the season, 14 points, and do keep their playoff hopes alive for at least one more week. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your quick choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Everyone jump in the nasty chat as well as the inbox at 780-218-9999. We greatly appreciate it. We're very thankful for you. On behalf of Jay Milne, I'm Matt Iwanyk. Thanks again for tuning into the Green and Gold post-game show. GCL Diesel Oilstream post-game show coming up later tonight. Enjoy that. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Oh, I want to end with something. I might have messed that up. That just I botched the kickoff show start.
Do it anyways.
Botching the post-game show to end. Thanks again.
They do this in prime time. Under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. The fans in the stands keep a doubly bright high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Kepleys, old spaghetti legs, Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E is a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.